Catherine, starting with you, are you reassured then by what you're hearing from the port of Calais? Do you believe their claims?
Well, when I visited Rotterdam, the customs officer there said, we are very well used to dealing with third countries. They do it all the time. For stuff coming in from Chile or from Mauritania, they have to check. That's where the problem is going to be. They don't care what they're sending to us because that's for British customs officers. And the chap from Calais said, no, that's fine. We'll put the stuff on the ferries and they can check them as they come over to the UK. It's the other way round because the EU is a rule-based organisation and it will need to check every lorry that goes through unless they have pre-clearance. And there is a real problem, as we heard from the road hauliers, about getting those. I mean, this is the reality of Brexit. We've been sold porky pies by Nigel and his friends. It's costing eye-watering amounts of money that we could be investing into infrastructure in Dover that they're having to spend to prepare for this. We're 600 hours away from it. It isn't whether France is ready for it, it's whether we are ready for it, and we are certainly not.
Nigel, let me put that to you. You are the purveyor of porky pies. And actually, France can say it's not a problem, as Catherine just said, but we are not ready. So there is a problem.
Well, unlike most people in politics, I spent 20 years buying and selling goods and shipping them all over the world. To Europe, yes, but also in and out from the rest of the world as well. And it's actually very, very straightforward.
Yeah, but that was before Brexit.
After we leave the European Union, we will be on exactly the same standards as they are because we've got alignment of rules at the moment.
We have no alignment of rules with no deal. There's nothing. There's no rules.
Well, of course we do, and that's what the Act of Parliament does. It basically says that on D-Day +1 we have exactly the same rule book. We may diverge over time, and I hope we do, and I hope we become more competitive. But I mean, all these scare stories. I mean, last week.
Hang on, Nigel. You're changing the subject there. So let's go back to Catherine. Catherine, you wanted to take him up on what he said.
Look, no deal means that there are no rules, and we have to fall back onto WTO, which haven't, of course, been passed to the WTO. But the European Union has rules for stuff coming in from outside the European Union. They will have to obey that. And it doesn't matter that we were friends 10 minutes ago. These are now goods coming from outside the EU, and they must check them. Even the story about pallets this week, that the pallets don't conform with external pallets coming into the EU. All of these sorts of things, the drivers can't get their permits to drive on European roads. All of those sorts of things will cause problems. Now, Nigel, no deal is no problem. It is a huge problem because it's an absence of rules. It's like saying none of the road rules operate anymore. We can all do what we like. Now, it'll work.
These are desperate technical solutions.
It's going to be really slowed down.
Okay, Nigel.
Desperate technical answers that are being given to try and stop us becoming an independent country. I mean,
the technicalities matter,
you will see tens of thousands of containers coming in every single day. You don't think there's some little fella checking each container, do you? We have trusted trader schemes and we know what we're doing. But I'll give you a solution.
But we don't have one with the EU.
But I'll give you a really good solution. All right? Very simple, very straightforward. We go to the WTO in Geneva. We apply Article 24 of the GATT Treaty, and that gives us 2 years minimum whilst we can sort out a new trade deal where everything would stay exactly the same. So there's no need even for there to be the most minor difficulty on March the 30th, and the WTO are happy to be an honest broker in this process. So this actually is really very, very easy.
Go on, Catherine.
Nigel, any agreement at the WTO needs a full agreement, a unanimous agreement with over 100 countries. So it's going to take months and months.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Article 24 of the GATT Treaty is perfectly clear. They will act as a broker for two...
Nigel, can I just pick you up on that as well, please? Because actually our reporter's been researching that here at BBC Radio Kent, and she's come back and said that has never been done before. So can you provide us with any kind of evidence that would work?
Number one,
we know about Nigel's evidence.
And number two, listen, if I can't speak, I'll just go, and that's fine.
Go on, speak.
Number one, the wording of Article 24, and number two, people in the WTO in Geneva have said to us, we're very happy to do this. Now, this doesn't just suit us, by the way. Remember, 1 in 3 BMWs that are sold around the world are sold in this
we've heard that before. Catherine, I just want to get your response to that. Are you reassured?
Very straightforward solution.
Go on, Catherine.
Nigel told us it was going to be easy peasy. All of the Leave voters said it's going to be easy. No deal, there's no problem. Look, we have a deal. It's taken over 2 years to get to this excruciating deal. Why not put that back to the country? If it's so good, then the country will accept it and they still want Brexit. That's fine. But now we know what Brexit looks like. This is, remember, just the start. We have years and years of trade negotiations. If everybody is fed up with Brexit, let's have a people's vote, put it to the vote now and get it done, over and done with. Because the clock is ticking and our businesses are terrified. They're spending money they don't need to, the government is spending eye-watering amounts of money that could be going into family centres and libraries. Let's get this dealt with quickly.
Okay, Nigel, what's your response to that?
Well, it's better than pumping in, as we have been doing, about £20 million a day to the European Union. So actually, overall, get this sorted out, we'll save a lot of money. Look, this referendum was about becoming an independent country. And every leading political party promised that whatever the result of the referendum was, it would be abided by. And what you're seeing here is an attempted betrayal of our entire
So, Nigel, do you still think that the no deal would be the best scenario?
Thing I've seen in my lifetime.
You still think that no deal would be your favoured outcome?
My favourite outcome for 25 years has been a free trade deal. Sadly, we didn't ask for one. We now don't have that much time left, so let's leave on WTO terms. We'll be out of the awful single market and customs union. We can use the WTO to be an honest broker, which gives us the softest of soft landings. And I think once we are an independent country, we will come to a very grown-up deal with the European Union.
Agreed, Catherine?
No, absolutely not agreed. Single market customs union is the best. It's the best one on the planet. It's the one that people are queuing up to join. I've just come back from a conference meeting African exporters and MPs, and they are desperate. It is going to affect the developing world far worse than it is going to affect us or the European Union, because they ship into us. They're going to lose that access to the single market by shipping to us. They're going to move it all to the European Union. It's an absolute pig's ear, and quite honestly, for Nigel to say it's quick and easy to get a trade deal, we know it takes years, and that's what we're in for.
Thank you both for discussing the issues this morning. That's Catherine Bearder, MEP, and Nigel Farage, now leading the Brexit party, or a Brexit MEP. I think he would say he wasn't the leader at the moment. Fascinating to hear the arguments on both sides. Your reaction, please. 0800 756 1111. Where do you feel we're going with this? And how do you feel about France saying